16 of Sweet Hand Caribbean Cooking with Sarina. Today I'm joined by Kimberly Parris, who is a Trinidadian born, New York based chef, caterer, cook, philanthropist. Roll it all into one. We're going to find out more about her in a minute. And I also have lovely Marilyn Ritter, who is a regular but hasn't been with us for a while. So it's good to have you back, Marilyn.
It's fabulous. I
All
was
the way.
saying that I'm so hungry. You know, this is going to be really something. It's almost dinner time here.
Wow. Same here. Marilyn is in Google plus Ground Zero, Mountain View, California. So it's a nice little eclectic bunch we have tonight. A few technical problems, so some audio might snap in and out, and some of our guests might join us a little later because of those technical issues. But let's turn it over to Kimberly for now. Um, my focus today was, I was just telling Marilyn, July is very much Tobago Heritage Month. The Tobago Heritage Festival kicked off earlier, and it runs for a month. And that is a celebration of everything Tobagonian culture, cuisine, way of life, and it's something that Tobagonians are very proud of. And most people don't realize that Tobago and Trinidad developed socio-economically very differently along different paths, had different histories, different colonial ownerships, and we weren't really bound politically until the 19th century. So as a result of that, Tobago culture is very distinct from Trinidad culture in a lot of ways. So it's a great way for us as Trinidadians to learn more about what's going on in Tobago as well as other tourists. So one dish that Tobago is really well known for is crab and dumplings, and that's what we're doing our twist on today, because I don't eat crab and neither does Kim, but vegan alternatives, if you don't eat shellfish for personal reasons or allergic reasons, again, you can enjoy the flavors of this dish without using shellfish. We're using seitan today, but Kimberly's also going to tell us about some other vegan alternatives that you can use, and she is hard at work on her dumplings right now. So I'm just going to turn it over to you. Kim, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi. Well, first of all, like I said, like Sarina said, my name is Kimberly. Am I am the Carib Diva. That's my tag name pretty much. What I like to do is I call it French inspired Caribbean cuisine, but I do a lot of Trinidadian cuisine, a lot of Caribbean cuisine in general, and I tend to make sure that I always represent the Caribbean wherever I go. Hence the Carib Diva. Um, Serena mentioned the philanthropist part. We're gonna talk about it a little later. That part a little bit later. Um, but one of the things for me, I've been a vegetarian for the past 4 years. I actually, it's funny. And I don't know if I ever told you this, Serena, but I was 300 pounds,
Okay.
and I stopped. I started to change my diet. Things I did was I gave up meat, and when I gave up meat, I in total lost 135 pounds. So
Wow.
that's kind of I've been sticking with it ever since, and
Wonderful.
ever since then, being a chef, it challenges me to look for alternatives to different things that I would know that I used to eat, when I was a meat eater. So I definitely have challenged myself. I'm always going all over the place for different things, and you guys can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, cool. So I always go different shopping for different items, and Seitan was one of the things I came across in stores. Now, what happened was when I encountered the Seitan in the stores, I didn't like the texture, so I started making it myself. And when you make it yourself, you can control what it tastes like. You can control the texture. You can control the look, the size, etc., etc. And so that's when I started playing around with dishes, and then that's when we came up with seitan and dumplings today as my pot starts to boil over. Okay. So
That's
what I've been
wonderful.
working on right now is the dumplings aspect of it, and it's pretty simple. It's as I said, this dish particularly is not a gluten free dish. It's definitely gluten because seitan is a gluten based item, but it is, however, very tasty, and there are definitely gluten alternatives for it if you're looking to do that. You can use gluten-free flour, and then there are also vegan alternatives. Serena, you wanted me to get into some of the vegan alternatives?
Definitely. If somebody
Awesome. Okay.
doesn't, yeah.
So Vegetarian Plus, what they do is they have a whole line of vegan alternatives, and they one of the things that they do are vegan fishes. They do a vegan fish fillet. They do a vegan shrimp. The vegan shrimp is actually really quite tasty. Also, if you have a Chinese market in your area, they have a lot of vegan alternatives, and definitely including vegan seafood alternatives. What I did with the seitan today, it's right now it's seasoned with vegan seafood broth, which you can get in a Fairway market. You can get it in a Whole Foods market for certain. Any place that sells vegan products will have it. They have also vegan beef, vegan chicken, and they taste just like the real thing if you've never had it before.
That
So
sounds wonderful.
yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, I was actually really quite amazed at what I found when I started really looking for things. It was really very impressive. And so the vegan seafood, that was the one I was most hesitant about, because if you go and you research, you see that there aren't many vegan seafood alternatives. It's the hardest one to emulate, but it really is very good. It comes out very tasty. Or you could just use a regular vegetable broth too if you choose to do that. That's up to you. Um,
So if
some people,
somebody didn't want to use seitan, could they use like tofu or
you could use tofu, but you would need a very, very firm tofu, because I mean, Serena, when you make a dish like a crab and dumpling, it sit and it has to marinate, and then it has to cook some. And anything softer than a very firm tofu is gonna dissolve.
right?
So you want to make sure if you're going to use a tofu, that the tofu is it's firm. They have an extra firm tofu. You can use that. Um, and again, you can find that in like a Whole Foods market. Tofu is actually pretty easy to find nowadays, so I must say.
Yeah, I was just thinking about for the local market here in Trinidad
Right,
because,
right, right.
yeah, tofu is very easy to obtain. Seitan, not so much. I know you're using vital wheat gluten,
Okay.
so I'm going to look around, and if anybody out there knows where you can get that locally, you can always leave a comment on whichever form you're watching this on, and I'm also going to try and put up some local sources.
So now the seitan that I made is actually made with vital wheat gluten. Usually, if you don't have and I think Sarina and I were talking about this the other day. We were saying that because I remember you were saying that you had a created
I had a
incident.
disastrous attempt at making my own seitan. It was really bad. I mean, I wasted
Yeah.
a bag of flour. So, and if you know the price of
Oh,
flour here, that's nothing to laugh about. Yeah.
oh, listen, the price of flour everywhere is not anything to laugh about. You were not telling me anything I don't know. But the best thing to do is to look for vital wheat gluten, because usually when they want you to make seitan from scratch, what they want you to do is extract the gluten from the flour. And if you can't, if you can, or if you're not patient enough for that, or if you like Serena, and you have a bit of a seitan fatality of sorts, you can just buy the vital wheat gluten, and it comes in a box like this. It looks like this. Arrowhead Mills makes it,
Oh,
and they
yeah.
sell it online too. So for the Trinis and the Tobagonians who can't find it at home,
Yeah.
right here.
Amazon.
I'm Amazon, eBay, Etsy, your best friends, and it's very inexpensive. That I paid, I think, $2 for.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
but I mean, it can go up to as much as $5. It really just depends on, you know, which one you're buying. So
So what are you doing there?
so right now, I have a little bit of flour on my hands. I'm making the dumplings dough.
So show us how,
Yeah,
because
we want to
not
see it.
everybody, yeah, not everybody has their dumpling technique down. And
Oh,
these are,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, you'd be surprised.
I heard that. So as my hands are, I'm gonna get the highlight. What I have here is it's very soft right now. Um, but I like it that way because particularly when you're making crab and dumplings, it's gonna cook, and you don't really want it to get too tough. You want a nice, a dumpling with a nice bite, but something that's not too tough. So I try not to overwork the dough as much as possible. Once the dough is formed, that's it. I get to separating it. Everybody can everybody see? And then I'm just basically going to break it into about tablespoon size bits, resting them on my cutting board here. And after that, I'm going to flatten them out, and I'm just going to let them rest while we get everything else together. So that
Right.
by the time I'm ready to add them, the gluten in the dough, which is the same gluten, ironically, that's going in the seitan, can make sure that it rests enough so that it cooks properly in the dish itself. So we have again, and I'm going to dust my hands with a little bit of flour because, again, you want to make sure, even though it's sticky and soft, you don't want it to stick to your hands too much. And I'm going to just pat it out. For dumplings, usually, and Sarina can attest to this, usually when they do crab and dumplings, a lot of times, some people do like a rounded one, like I don't know if it's oblong, if that's the right shape to call it,
Right.
but I traditionally prefer a flat dumpling.
I was going to ask if you were going to do a flat circular disc dumpling
Yeah,
because that's the one I like with this dish, even although I
yeah,
know
that's what I'm
the
doing. Flat and
oblong is
circular.
popular as
Okay.
well.
Yeah. I
I
saw
don't
some.
think people see that one as much.
Say it again.
I don't think people see that one as much, like outside of the Caribbean.
The flat ones.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's true.
the coin shaped ones. Yeah.
Yeah, it's about a tablespoon of dough, maybe a little more than a tablespoon, maybe a tablespoon and a half, and it gets rounded out, and then you flatten it, and it kind of looks like this. And then when it cooks off, it kind of cooks off the same way, but it's very tasty, and it's really good for surface area particularly when it comes to eating everything else.
And what's nice about it is that often, well, depending on how you shape it, like if you shape it with a little bit of a dent in the middle, then it's really
Right.
good for cupping the sauce because this is a very saucy dish.
Absolutely.
So as you're taking out the dumpling's like a little bowl almost in itself.
Yep. The sauce is the best part, if you ask me. So it's true. It's true. I'm gonna put a little dent in there with my thumb, so that when it comes out, it'll come out kind of almost
Yeah,
is it concave or convex? Well,
concave.
it is concave. Okay, I was right. First time. So yeah. So
Yeah,
there's a dumpling, and then just gonna put a little hole in the middle right there, and that's pretty much it. And I'm just gonna leave these to rest.
nice.
So
So now we move on to our onions, garlic, pepper,
absolutely,
tomato.
always all about the pepper. I'm gonna just shift this to the side. I'm gonna
And
put
while
my
you do that, I want to say hi to Jason. Hi, Jason.
Hey,
That's TriniGourmet's
Jason.
online community manager. Yeah, so he's just chillaxing at home in silence. Yeah.
This is me shifting. I'll be right back.
Nice. Gorilla style. So any questions so far?
No, it's just looking really good. I love dumplings. The only thing that I've ever made or had, and it's been so long ago, has been like chicken and dumplings, Southern style, and they're
I haven't had
round
that.
dumplings, or at least the way that. So yeah, dumplings.
Well, I know that when I make a soup, a lot of the time it has to have dumplings in it, and I
Yeah.
like to make my dumplings soft. You would think that there wouldn't be as much regional debate about dumplings as there is, but having a Jamaican mother, they love their dumplings hard. Trinidadians like their dumplings on the softer side, so it's a bit of a inter-dumpling war going on in my house. But my mom's outnumbered, so she tries to make them softer, but I think it's in her hand to press it. But I love dumplings. And what's
Yeah.
interesting, and I'm sure Kim will agree with me, is that even though we're using flour for the dumplings, since my mom became diagnosed with celiac disease, I now use gluten-free flour, and I also use cornmeal. And I like to put a little cornmeal into the dumpling because it adds a little more texture and sweetness,
Yep.
yeah, to the
Sure does.
dumpling than just the gluten-free flour. Because sometimes gluten-free flour can be a little chalky, have a little
Yeah.
bit of a chalky flavor to it, and so I find the cornmeal evens that out really well. And if
You
you're
can
making
also do
curry,
a cassava dumpling.
Yeah, it looks like
that's
I'm
really
noticing.
nice. I like that.
Jason and I are big cornmeal fans.
Yes. And I was going to kick it up a notch there. I was going to say if you're making Caribbean dishes, give it a little extra flavor, especially if you're using gluten-free flour, use coconut milk as the
I love
binding
coconut
liquid.
milk.
That's just going to, yeah, no one's going to miss the gluten in those dumplings once you use coconut milk.
You're
You know,
really
I'm
not.
seeing more and more coconut recipes with coconut,
That's so
milk in it,
true.
even around here.
That's so you're so right about that, Marilyn. It's so true. So I'm gonna show you guys the seitan I made. It's actually
Nice.
it's pretty fresh.
I'm leaning forward like I can smell it.
Can you guys see it?
I wish.
Hold it still.
Hold up! Oh my gosh! Oh, gorgeous!
Yeah. So
Wow.
I could see, and that's what I mean because with this one, and I'm gonna use tongs because they're very hot right now.
Please.
Or maybe a fork because a fork's probably easier. So if you look at the texture on, I don't know, it's gonna be kind of hard to see the texture on it, but this one is
No.
softer than the seitan that you normally might see in stores because again I changed the proportions of how much gluten I wanted in there. And usually when I make seitan, whatever flavor I wanted to have, I add some of the seasoning directly into the seitan as well, into the gluten mix as well, because then that way it's extra flavor. Because seitan takes on the flavor of whatever you want it to take on. So I'm just gonna add these into my peppers and my onions and my garlic as I turn.
And you can get that recipe on the event page. And if you're watching this in the YouTube replay, it will be in the YouTube description as well, and also on TriniGourmet.com. So Kim has kindly shared her proprietary seitan recipe and seafood seasoning blend with us.
It's true. So I'm just adding these to. I have some chopped up peppers and onions and garlic. I have a little bit of Madras curry in here. That's usually our Trini preferred curry of choice.
Yes, the only one that matters in my kitchen.
Right. I have some jeera here as well.
AKA
Jeera
cumin.
is cumin.
Yes.
But now, and I only say this: you can use regular cumin. Jeera, what the only difference between jeera and regular cumin? It's a bit stronger. It's a bit more potent. It's roasted prior to going, being packaged. You can find them in West Indian markets if you have a West Indian market in your neighborhood, you can find it there. But you can also find it online. I know Chief, one of the primary brands in Trinidad, they sell it online. But luckily for us in New York, we have a beautiful West Indian market that sells all these things for me. And I could just call my auntie and she'll ship it. But that's a whole other conversation. So now I didn't have this in the original recipe, but I'm gonna add it, and I'm sure once Sarina sees what I'm doing, she knows where I'm going with this. Whenever I like to do a curry, we have this thing that we do with garlic, and we call it.
Oh, right.
Right. So I'm gonna get some oil.
Chunky the pot.
I'm sorry.
I said chunky the pot.
Yep. And basically, in essence, what it is, it's burning the garlic. It brings out this intense flavor in the garlic, and then it shows up in the dish as well. A lot of times, I know, particularly when you're a chef, the premise is not to burn it, but in this case, you want it burnt. Like if it's black, the blacker the better in this case.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I was about to say every time you see a cooking show, you read a recipe book, they're always like, make sure the garlic doesn't go black. You don't want garlic to go black. And I'm just like, come down here. Garlic goes black.
Exactly.
Garlic goes beyond black.
It's such an
depends on the
flavor.
dish.
I mean, of course, now you don't leave the blackened garlic in the dish. You take it out because you're just, in essence, making the oil. But trust me, it's so good.
Okay, I'm in on that. I'm going to do that.
Right, absolutely. And
again, I definitely am going to.
Don't get afraid when it starts to turn brown or black, because it will. Because like I said, you're kind of ingrained to just pull it out right then, like, oh, it's a nice golden. And that's the normal thing. But in this case, you want it black, like my friend's shirt over here, like that kind of black.
Okay.
So As that's getting dark, I'm just gonna I'm adding a little bit more curry to my mix here, and ideally you want the mix to sit. If you could get it to sit overnight, that's the best thing because all the flavors seep in. Again, like I said, seitan takes on whatever flavor you give it, and but I'm just but so that you guys can kind of see as I go along, I'm adding it in, and I already have some garlic in here. I have some peppers, and I have some onions. I'm gonna add a little more seitan into this. I have to say they have to invent smell-o-vision webcams,
I know,
Yes.
especially for moments like this.
I'm just imagining that it is smelling really good.
It does. It does. A lot of times some people they don't like to necessarily cook with curry because curry it gets into your everything, but it's so good.
Oh, we love curry. At our house, we are curry fans.
Well, that's good. That's good. You should be.
Yes. I think it's good for you.
Oh, absolutely. I'm glad you
It
know.
is actually.
I think so too. I think it's actually, good.
Yeah, it has
No,
anti-inflammatory
it is. It has
properties
Yes.
yes, definitely. It really is. A lot of the things that like fish oil, for example, was something. And I don't know if your mom made you do this as a child, Sarina, but I know as a child, my mother fed me fish oil till I bust.
Oh my gosh, no, I missed out on that.
Oh, lucky you. Cod liver oil, that was what we ate. But I mean, it really worked. I have to say,
hmm
I give it to my time. I
I
just
take it now, and also flaxseed oil is a good alternative if you're a vegan or
Yeah.
vegetarian to cod liver oil.
yeah. And I mean, they even have like the omega-3 fatty acid pills
Yeah,
now. So
Hmm.
they
but I
have
love the flaxseed oil.
yeah, flaxseed oil is amazing. You can put flaxseed in everything. In reality, you can put
Yeah,
ground flaxseed in the seitan.
yeah, oh
All
yeah,
reality. So this is
yeah.
actually looking kind of it's getting there. I'm gonna flip it over.
Ooh,
Mm.
And I'm gonna show you one that's already kind of I don't know. It's gonna be hard to see the color probably. Let me see.
well, I'm not seeing anything. What's
Oh,
that?
let me. I was trying to
You're
show
trying to
you
show me
one.
the garlic. You're trying to show me the black garlic on the black spoon. All right.
Right, right. Actually, it was a silver
I see how
spoon.
that. Okay.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Can anybody see it? There it is.
That looks good. Yeah. That's how dark we want it, or even darker.
Or even darker, right? As I put it back in the pot.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is as I'm gonna add the peppers the same peppers, and I just added some scallions in here as well. I'm gonna saute the the peppers and the onions and the garlic and the tomatoes that I already seasoned the seitan with because you really kind of want that to almost melt into the oil, so that when you add in the seitan and make the sauce, it all the flavors kind of mesh together, and that's what you're looking for. So I'm gonna do that now.
Yeah. I think we're good.
Oh, you saw it come out, Sarina?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what drove you to cook, like to make cooking your life?
My parents, growing up in uh, a West Indian household, one of the things we love to eat, but we love to cook even more. Everybody, we like to feed people belly. That's what we do, you know.
Yes.
And so growing up, my grandmother always cooked. My mother always cooked, but my dad actually is the one who really showed me a lot of stuff. My dad is the one who showed me how to curry, how to stew, how to all those things came from my father. And so I remember when I was about 8 years old, and I was reading Highlights magazine. I don't know if you guys get that in Trinidad, Highlights,
Hmm.
but
I know of it, but I've never seen it.
right. So they had a section where they would have recipes that kids could do, and what happened was I saw a recipe for kugel, which is it's like a Jewish casserole,
Yes.
and you're just like because you're kosher, so you might be familiar with it, Serena.
Yes, I know
Okay.
kugel quite well.
So I made it, they helped me with the stove stuff and the oven stuff, but I made it for my family, and I set the casserole out on the dinner table, and everybody actually loved it. And ever since then, that was it. Any opportunity I got, um, you know, I would cook. And even as I grew up, funny enough, I went to school, did psychology, I did education, I taught for a while, I did guidance counseling, but I always cooked. So while I was teaching, I went back to school for culinary, and then I graduated, and then I quit my job, and I started the business, and that's kind of where I am today. That was 5 years ago.
Wow. So how did you go from cooking to chopped? Because I don't know if everyone out there knows. If you saw Kimberly's 5 questions post on TriniGourmet, you'll know that she is a former chopped contestant. And if you're like me, you love Food Network, you love chopped, and you always think, man, what would I do if I opened that mystery basket? Like, so here's somebody who actually opened the mystery basket. And what did you think? How did you end up there? You just
Um,
applied, or?
I actually it's kind of a sad story with a happy ending. I had a friend of mine that passed away, a very close friend of mine, and one of her running jokes was that she would come in the kitchen and she would cook with me, and she said that she could see me on a television show, and she'd be sitting on the side, cooking and
Oh,
chopping, and I would be at the helm on the camera. She always would say, "You should be on Chop. You should be on Chop." So she passed away. Maybe about 6 months later or so, an advertisement popped up on my screen one night. I was working late at night, and the advertisement popped up on my
wow.
screen. And I said, you know what? I'm going to humor myself. Let me try, you know. And lo and behold, I applied, and I didn't think I was going to hear back from them. The first time I didn't hear back, but the second time I applied twice. I applied before she passed, and then again I decided to do it again when she passed away. Um, 2 weeks after I applied the second time, I got a call back to come in
Wow.
for an interview. And then I got called back again, and I had to do a whole bunch of red tape stuff. I actually even did a show before Chopped. I did a show for Bravo, the pilot to Rocco's Dinner Party with Rocco DeSpirito. I did that one first. That one was really intense. 4 days, 15-hour days, running all about the city.
Wow.
And
Wow.
all for 1 hour. It was just an hour episode.
I was about to say, I'm sure they left a lot out.
Oh yeah, the amount of editing that goes into these shows, if you could only imagine. But I did win that one,
Nice.
which is okay.
Nice, nice.
But the experience was amazing. It's just as intense on the TV that you would think. You know, it
I
the
don't think I could do it. I don't think I
you
would freeze.
I think you could, Sarina.
I
Oh,
would
Um,
I'm sure you
freeze.
could, Sarina.
Y'all are too kind.
so just as I'm saying now, I added the seitan to the pot to
Mm-hmm.
the pot. I'm just giving it a quick shake, and then I'm gonna add the sauce that the
Right, some of the soaking liquid.
yeah. I'm gonna also take some of the broth that I cooked the seitan in and add to the pot for the extra flavor, because
Yeah,
especially because it's the dish itself is a vegan dish. Well, yeah, vegan actually. It is vegan.
yeah.
Um, but because normally a lot of the flavor will come from the crab, you want to make sure you get as much flavor in here as possible. So I'm gonna take some of the liquid from the broth and add it in there too. And the thing about Maja's curry that makes it so good is that it really, truly, the flavors are so intense. So when you do it, what we do usually is we add the liquid, and we're gonna cook it out. And basically, I'm gonna turn it up so that the liquid burns out completely, because you want that flavor to get intense, intense, intense. And then I'm gonna add some more broth and bring it back to a simmer. So that's what I'm gonna do now. Well, I'm sure Sarina has a million and one more questions for me.
I wish I was in your house right now because I'm sure it smells amazing. And what's also nice about the madras is the color it imparts as well. You know, that golden hue, that deep hue that it adds to the vegetables and to the seitan as well, I'm sure.
It's true.
You
It's
know.
true. It's true. Very true.
I'm a
Very
visual eater, you know, so the prettier it looks, the more I'm ready to dive in.
yes, ma'am.
What kind of what fight is going on off camera there?
That would be my mother correcting my pronunciation of Madras.
I thought it Madras. Call it Madras. You're right, mommy. You're right.
She said you're right. So as it cooks down, I don't know, Sarina, what did you want to talk about next?
Well, I actually thought it would be a good time to move into her diva spot as well, which is your philanthropic arm of life. I mean, I was amazed because trying to book Kim, I've been trying to book Kim for how long? A year now? Feels like a year.
Yeah, a good year, yeah.
A good part of this year, and you know our schedules just never linked, we never synced up. And I mean, I know being a cook is busy, I know all these things are busy, and then bam, just like that, she throws out on me she also has a non-profit, and I am like thinking, girl, how do you manage all of these things? And the more I heard about her non-profit, the more I was amazed. So I thought that, you know, she should share that with us, and so that, you know, we could be inspired and also learn and maybe even check out her site and learn more. So you want to tell us a little bit about her Diva Spot?
Sure. So I have a 10-year-old daughter, and
I did not know that. Wow.
really?
Thanks for hitting me with that on air.
Yes, I have a 10-year-old, and what happened, how it all started was that we were talking one day, and she was kind of talking to me about some stuff that was going on at school, and you know, growing up now, particularly in this generation, it's a big challenge. I'm sure, you know, you can see, you know, on the news with the bullying and et cetera, et cetera. I mean, when I was growing up, um, we had those things, but we handled it differently. You know, it was a different kind of thing that we kind of handled. So anyway, so she was talking to me about something that was going on in school, and you know, she was telling me about somehow the girls were handling it, and I was listening, and I just couldn't help but say to myself, but gee, you know, like why? You know, why must it be that way? And I realized that most of these girls have so little self-esteem from such a young age. Now, when I was about her age, I was in a rites of passage program that my fifth grade teacher started.
Mm.
It was a revolutionary kind of thing, and it was 13 of us who we did a year-long program, and we did self-esteem, we did entrepreneurship, we did empowerment, we did
Wow.
finances, we did all we talked about sex, we talked about everything. And that program was called African Womanhood is Mine. And at the end of the program, we all went to Ghana in West
Wow.
Africa. We went to Ghana and Ivory Coast in West Africa. So coming back to the present day, that program, I mean, that program really kind of set the foundation for kind of who I am currently as a person. Um, you know, the type of person that the type of things I wanted to learn and be and feel and everything. And so as I was listening to my daughter, I really just said, you know what, maybe it's time to bring something like that back. We don't have a lot of programs like that anymore. I know particularly in like New York City and a lot of the other urban cities, we are focusing a lot on the boys, you know, getting the boys into those types of programs, which is awesome, but we kind of forgot about the girls by the wayside, you know, who still kind of, you know, need help and assistance. So I started a program called her Diva Spot, and Diva usually sometimes it has a negative connotation depending on who's hearing it, but it stands for divine intelligence voices of all ages. And the program is for ages 8 to 15-year-old girls of color who whether they have self-esteem issues, they don't necessarily have to, but it's definitely a program for self-empowerment, for self-esteem, to kind of go back to the foundations of what makes a young girl, and how to help them make that transition into womanhood. So it has 4 modules, and each of the names in the word diva are the individual modules. I wrote the curriculum out myself.
Wow.
Everyone has their own mentor, and the mentors, they meet with them. They meet with them individually. They meet together as a group, and they they get together. They have their own online network. So you know how we, like right now we're using Google Plus or Facebook. We created an interacting online network just for them, so that
Wow.
they
Wow.
influenced by the other people around them, no Facebook worries or anything like that. So only
It's like a
they can
safe
log.
spot.
Right. It's a safe spot. It's a safe haven just for them to talk about their stuff. And then there's separate chat rooms if they want to talk with their mentors.
Wow.
But the network is powered by us. It's our network. It's our server.
You're
My associate,
amazing.
Desiree Moody, she's awesome. Cats Meow Media. She created all of that. She coded the whole website and everything. Right now there are 10 mentors, 8 girls. We went on a hiatus mid-year, but we're coming back, and those girls are gonna mentor the next set of girls. We just got a new space out in not Far Rockaway, in South Queens. So we're gonna be utilizing that, and we're kind of just really excited about the movement that we're hoping to bring. We're gonna have an opening soon so that everyone can kind of get a glimpse of what they've learned so far, and the goal is to each one teach one, obviously. So these girls are going to take it
Yes.
next. And
That's
so,
what will make it self-sustaining, is, each handing, reaching backwards.
absolutely right.
As I
And
love it.
there is a website. We got hacked the other day, so we had to rebuild the website. So it's coming back soon. But the Facebook website is active. It's www, and I'm going to put it in the chat too.
Okay. And I'll paste it into the
www.facebook.com
event page as well.
/ her diva spot, and you can see some of the stuff we've done. We took them to El Museo del Barrio. They got to do a workshop there, African dance, and the goal is also to bring them to Ghana as well at the end. We're gonna raise money to do that. So there's a lot of exciting things that we're hoping to happen, and that's pretty much what we're looking at.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So how's the?
I was just saying, I just added a
I'm getting hungrier and hungrier.
Yep.
I just added a coconut milk. We're gonna give it a
Oh
stir.
wow.
I'm gonna let that cook down. Actually, might be a good time to add the dumplings too. Come to think of it. It got so quiet.
I know.
we're like leaning in, trying to smell it.
I'm telling you, they need to get if we can invent ways that everyone can talk and communicate with each other millions of miles away. I say we can invent some smell. Somebody could do it.
Yeah.
Everybody says that. Everybody says that.
But it's true though. I'm gonna add a little more broth. Just dumplings can cook. And then I'm gonna put a cover on this and let it rip. In theory, of course, not actually.
So let's see. So at this point, you've already boiled it out once,
Yes,
and
I already
you
boiled
and you
it.
add it. So now you're just simmering.
Yep, now it's just simmering. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit, clear my space up. And
Very important.
This is gonna cook for another about 8 minutes. You want the sauce to get thick. You want the dumplings to cook. And obviously you want to taste your sauce along the way to see if it's missing anything.
Does it need sauce?
Say it again.
I said, does it need salt? That's what I'm always testing for.
Right? And me, I added some Scotch bonnet in here. Habanero is pretty much the same type of pepper. If you don't like it spicy, you can just do pimentos, which is it gives it a nice little flavor without the actual kick too much. It's a little kick, not too not too heavy, or but you want that little bit of kick in the back because that's part of the fun.
For me, definitely. I mean, I love pimento, but I like my Scotch bonnet too.
Yeah.
So.
Scotch bonnet. Guys.
Speaking of which, I'm gonna add some more Scotch bonnet.
Marilyn and her partner George made a Trinidad fish broth last year that I don't know if they've recovered from yet.
That was good.
Really?
Yes, they made it on air for another Caribbean show.
Yeah, it was yummy.
Yeah, they made their own green seasoning and everything.
All right, Marilyn, that'll work.
Yeah, it was good. Well, we like to eat, so it makes sense that we like to cook.
That's awesome.
I'm just getting a cover, guys.
Okay.
So when did the dumplings go in? When did the dumplings go in?
They went in just now.
Mm.
I stuck them in there. So right before I added the Scotch bonnet, I added dumplings. And
oh, okay.
So,
I missed that.
So now it's gonna sit for the next few minutes or so.
So we can start the punch.
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 Apparently this is another proprietary recipe that Kim has kept to herself through the years and everybody has wanted, and we got it now. And she's now called it the Carib Diva Punch. So I saw Bajan cherry juice and I was in one time. So I haven't had a chance to try it. I only got the recipe a few days ago. But
well, Sarina, you must try. You must try it.
I will. I love punch.
I'm gonna only make a cup or two, so because I don't want to get too happy.
Man, get happy on air, man. What do you mean?
Right. So I'm gonna get my trusty cocktail shaker.
You notice the Fernandez. I hope all the Trinis and around the world are recognizing that rum bottle. The Fernandez. Yes, please hold that up to the camera, Kim, because that's a beloved sight.
Absolutely, absolutely. You could also use Pen Cane, which is also another Trini rum. It's a newer one, but Fernandez is tried and true, and you can't go wrong with Fernandez.
And you want a dark rum for this one, right? You don't want a white rum for this. Yeah.
You want the so I'm gonna add in the recipe everything is pretty much it's a 2-to-1 ratio. So it's 2 cups of 2 cups of juice, 2 cups of the Bajan cherry and the tamarind and as I pour the Bajan cherry in. And then 1 cup of rum, and depending on how your taste buds go, so to speak, you may decide that you want more or less or whatever the case may be. But as we say, enough rum. Must be rum. Just add the rum. You'll be okay. Can you see me? Did I?
Yes.
There we go. And we got some ice too.
Oh, nice. I have to come to one of your dinner parties, Kim. You need to have a dinner party and send me a ticket. And
yes, I will do it. I must do that for you. Let me I want to get a glass, but I don't want to move all the computer. So
yeah. Ooh, got a little seasick there. So how you, Jason? Why are you so quiet? His, I don't know if by him is noisy tonight or what, but he's not saying nothing.
He's very quiet.
I know. It's almost like a ghost. Okay, let's give up on that.
Well, he's been messaging in the chat box, so he's thinking.
Has anybody here been reading Mortal Instruments? Because all I could think of is a silence rune. Somebody probably put a silent rune on the back of his neck. But if you didn't read it, you wouldn't know yet what I'm talking about. So, but oh, he's having a lot of dogs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that makes
And if you're
sense.
living in Trinidad, you'll understand the woo, 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 so going on all around. So
He's being
that's why
courteous.
he's muted. He's
Oh,
being
look at
courteous.
that. Oh, wow, is that
Oh my
gorgeous?
God! Oh, hold on, hold that up. Pose, smile. Thank you, sweetie.
See?
That is beautiful. I love the hue.
Oh, that's so pretty. Oh my gosh.
The Bayesian cherry juice itself has its own. Oh, I think we got somebody else.
Yes, Axel just came in.
Mm.
Willkommen.
The Bayesian cherry juice, it has a nice color to it. So, it, will give you this hue. And I added some crushed ice. You don't have to add any crushed ice, but I added crushed ice. So, I'm gonna take a sip.
Yep, please take a long sip.
That is a gorgeous looking drink.
You don't have to worry about it, Kim. Every time I make a cocktail for the show, I drink it halfway, and it's pretty bad.
That's
So
funny.
drink up.
There you have it, Carib Diva Punch.
Love it, love it. So just to recap, what is in it?
So sure. So it's tamarind, it's pineapple, and Bayesian cherry juice.
Nice.
It's rum, and I did a sugar water. I did a simple syrup.
Simple syrup.
Equal parts of sugar and water. This one I did has ginger in it. The mint gives it a nice extra flavor on the side, but in reality you could do either or. You could even do both. It comes very good. And then again, you're gonna pour it over crushed ice. And it's very simple.
Are you using fresh ginger?
Yes.
Okay.
Nice. And I'm sure the tamarind gives it that little bit of extra tartness along with the cherries. So.
It does, yeah. But it's not too textured. It's a very nice light texture. So it's good. It's good.
Can't wait to try it. Cannot wait to try it.
Absolutely. You have to let me know how you like it.
Axel, you've been to Tobago, right? I think
Yes,
you told me you did.
once actually. I went diving up in the northern part.
Wow.
Nice.
It's gorgeous, isn't it?
The entire island is really gorgeous, especially the northern part. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed it.
So did you have crab and dumplings when you were there?
No, unfortunately not. The Blue Lagoon Inn or whatever the hotel is, and girls, that was 15 years ago.
Well, crab and dumplings has been around longer than that, so. Yeah, well, we're making a vegetarian version of it tonight, so maybe you can take the recipe from the event page and play around.
Absolutely. I had a little problem joining this. I just switched browsers, so there was something that didn't quite work with the Chrome browser on Mac.
Oh no, okay. Because quite a few people are not with us tonight who are supposed to be, and I think it's just been acting up. It's been acting up tonight again, so.
That's perfectly all right.
Yeah. So how are we coming along, Kim?
The sauce is thickening up very, very nicely. Let's see if I can.
Oh, nice. Ooh, hovering.
And the dumplings are just about cooked. The seitan is pumped up very nicely. All the flavors are meshing together, and everything is nice. I'm gonna chop up some cilantro.
Plus, if you were here, you'd be using shadow benny.
Yes. Well, I mean, we have shadow benny too. I just didn't have enough time to grab any. But yes. And the funny thing about shadow benny, In the States, it's called culantro with a U as opposed to an I. It's the same thing that Spanish people use called recayo. The leaf is it's rather big. It's a big, broad leaf, and the edges are slightly spiky. But it's a stronger flavor than cilantro. But since they're from the same family and they have that same flavor, you could substitute one for the other, which is what I'm doing here today.
Oh gosh, I love that flavor. Y'all use that. Y'all actually got it at an Asian market when you bought it, Marilyn.
That's what I was going to say. We finally found it. We have a very, very large Asian market near us, and that we go to a lot. And we found it there, so we were like, okay, all right.
We got a big, they got a big big stash of it, actually. A packet of it. A bundle. That's the word I'm looking for. A bundle. Stash. But sorry. But yeah, so my point was, if you're having problems finding culantro, shadow benny in the US and you're not finding it in a Latin store or a Caribbean store, try an Asian market.
Absolutely. They have everything. Everything.
Yeah, they do. They really do.
You make it sound like you go there for your shoes, for your car tune-ups.
I know. I got some dishes there the other day. I was like, I love that. I'm going to have it.
I wonder how they do it. I really do.
Ooh, what's that? Ooh, is that the cilantro?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, man.
I think I can plate this up now.
I think so. Are you getting hungry, Axel? I see you like rubbing your mouth.
That's a very good organized kitchen too.
Thank you. It's the chef in me. I can't help it. I'm gonna put a little bit of the broth on the bottom. Sarina and I were talking earlier about the dumplings, how to use the dumplings to get this, the sauce, to dip the sauce and tuck it in there. So I'm gonna get 2 dumplings and some seitan in here.
Are you done, Jess?
Pour the sauce over the top.
Are you done today?
Thing off the side.
Like a boss.
Like a boss. There you have it.
Ooh,
oh boy.
Hold it up, hold it up.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's lovely.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm gonna take some pictures of it too, so
yes, please.
Oh, good.
Upload. Yes, thank you.
Now, what do you have to drink with it?
The Carib Diva Punch.
Yes, of course. I mean, you can drink whatever you want, but I chose Carib Diva Punch.
I think Axel's just gonna drink the Fernandez straight out the bottle. He said, "You have your punch. I'll take the bottle."
Well, if you're from Trinidad, everything goes well with the Carib.
Carib. He posted some pictures of Carib the other day as well. Carib bottles. I was like, huh?
Okay. You can get it here in the United States.
Yeah.
Where would I be if I didn't try a bite?
The test. The ultimate tasting. Good to go.
I'm happy now.
Oh man, comfort food. That's what that is.
Absolutely. And the 2 different textures, the seitan and the dumplings.
Yeah, because I was wondering if somebody thinks, oh my God, I'm just gonna have a carb overload with this. I'm having flour and I'm having flour, but it's 2 different textures and they take on different personalities with the marinade and. So don't think that you're just having mouthfuls of flour over flour. It's nothing like that.
No, you're not. And then the thing is too, when you use gluten, when you extract the actual gluten itself, it actually takes away from some of the carbs, ironically. It's a very
That's
ironic
interesting.
and strange things all at once. That's the thing about using gluten. I have to drink more punch. Sorry.
It's kicking in. It's kicking in. I've been there. I've been there. Jason knows that personally, where I'm just like, I'm just gonna have a little more.
Well, if you didn't enjoy all the things that you made, what fun would that be?
Exactly. The
Gotta
joy
enjoy it.
of your cooking has to come through to the audience, right?
Exactly.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
But
yes,
this
it
has
would be a
been
comfort in your
fun.
belly. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Jason is just trolling in the comments right now, so that's what people are
We're having
reacting
a
to. He
lively
just wants to eat
Oh,
conversation.
everything
and
he's seeing.
and Marilyn, not Marilyn, oh, it was you who said it, Sarina. Ted Allen is a god. I love him.
Oh
No,
no,
yeah,
that's Jason. Jason's a total
that's
Ted Allen
Jason.
stan.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't,
I
nothing
love it.
against the man, I just don't get the worship, but boom, all right. Okay, so I think we've had a really great time. It's been a great motley crew as usual here. And oh wow, Google just avatars me out. That's just awesome. But until then, I mean, oh yeah, so thanks so much, Kim.
Thank you for having me. I'm so glad I could finally make it.
Yeah, thanks
Yeah,
very much. That was
Oh,
really
thank
nice.
you. That really
yeah.
was great.
You know, check out her Diva Spot on
Okay.
Facebook and thecaribdiva.com. And also, again, you can get these recipes on the event page. And tomorrow they should be up on YouTube as well. And I'll be back August 15th. I'll be back behind the stove. I haven't been behind the stove for a while, so I'm going to be behind the stove next month.
I'm gonna
And
have to tune in.
until, sorry?
I'm gonna have to tune in.
Yeah, please tune in. I'm gonna have you in, now you could just sit back and you could heckle me from the comfort of your chair
Yes, yes.
and harass me like I'm harassed you. So that's gonna be awesome. And so until then, you know, thanks so much for tuning in, and until next month, bye.
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 Thanks very much, Kim. It was really